It's time to replace the toilet in my own home. So today, I'm going to show you how to do just that. We'll get started by turning the water supply off to the toilet. Then we're going to remove the tank lid and then flush the toilet, holding down the tank lever so that as much water can leave the tank as possible. Once the contents of the tank have been flushed out, I'm going to take a packet of OD Liquid Lock and pour that into the bowl. The Liquid Lock allows the water to gel and solidify, keeping things as clean as possible. As we wait for the Liquid Lock to do its thing, we'll go ahead and remove the tank. We will start by disconnecting the supply line. In my case, I'm also going to be removing an existing bidet tee, so we'll remove that as well. With those items removed, I'm now going to go ahead and disconnect the fill valve from the tank. This doesn't necessarily have to be done to remove the tank, but I find it's easier to get rid of the remaining water by removing the fill valve and letting that water dump into a bucket. With the water out of the tank, we can now go ahead and remove the 3 bolts that are holding the tank to the bowl. Your toilet may only have 2. Now that we have the tank disconnected from the bowl, I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the bowl. I like to put it into a trash bag so that it can be safely and cleanly disposed of. By now, our Liquid Lock has had the opportunity to do its job and the water is solidified, so we're ready to get to work on the bowl. We're going to pop off the 2 bolt caps and remove the 2 nuts from the 2 bolts holding the toilet down. Now we're going to go ahead and remove the caulking from around the base of the toilet bowl. I like to use a razor knife to scrape it up, and from there we can wiggle the toilet bowl back and forth, and that should free it up, and we can lift it up and out. Just like with the toilet tank, we're going to put the bowl inside of a trash bag too. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part. We're going to remove the bolts from the old flange and get the floor cleaned up. We really want to clean up as much staining as possible as well, because the new toilet is going to have a slightly smaller shoe print than the original one. Okay, what I'm about to show you is very important, so please pay close attention to this. This is what's going to set you apart as someone who's done the correct job, a long-lasting job, as opposed to many individuals who come in, claim they know what they're doing. Some of them are even licensed plumbers, some are not. And if you do this wrong, you end up getting a job that will work for a time, but it's going to cause problems down the road. So it's very important you get this right. And that is the toilet flange. What you're looking for is 2 specific things. The first is that you want to make sure that the flange is not cracked. If it's cracked, that's an area where sewage water can seep out and cause problems. That one's normally caught by most individuals who are somewhat competent in what they're doing. But the second is the tricky one. I've even seen licensed, supposedly reputable plumbers completely get this wrong. And that is the elevation of the flange. So the toilet flange is designed to sit directly on top of the finished floor. You do not want it flushed with the floor. You do not want it recessed below the floor. The reason for this is a standard wax ring will not compress properly if the toilet is not on top or sitting directly on the finished floor, or at least a matching elevation as directly on top of the finished floor. Sometimes if you have tile, it'll be cut all the way around the flange, and you have to kind of put up a little riser to bring it up to that level where it matches being on top. If your flange is flushed with the floor, or below the floor, and use a standard wax ring product, what's going to happen is it will press onto the toilet. It's not going to leak right away. It's not even going to leak in the next few weeks, but typically somewhere between 2 years and 3 years after installation, you're going to start noticing problems. At that point, because the wax did not compress fully, there were little voids, and every time that toilet flushes and water runs through it, it slowly enlarges those voids to the point where you eventually get sewage water going underneath your floors, and it'll show up after damage has already been done. I've been to a number of homes where this kind of thing's occurring. I'm actually scheduled to go out to one next week where I expect that's what I'm going to find. Usually it's when a flooring contractor comes in and they replace the floors and they don't bring it up to the proper elevation. But sometimes it's when somebody who's a little bit less than knowledgeable about their craft comes in and they think it works, and it doesn't really. Yes, there are products that will kind of accommodate this. You can get products like deeper wax rings or even some wax-free products. Many of them I really don't recommend, that are supposed to or designed in theory, advertised to make up that difference. They don't do a great job. And in the best case scenario, it's a band-aid repair. Better to just do it the right way. Now this video isn't going to go over exactly how you address the flange. That's beyond the scope of this video. That's a larger topic for another day. If I do make a video on that, which I probably will, I'll go ahead and link it up above. However, for right now, if you need assistance with that, either feel free to reach out in the comment section. I'll do what I can to discuss it with you. Might even be able to expedite a video for you, but I'm sure there's plenty of great other videos here on the YouTube platform that you can look up how to bring the toilet flange to the correct elevation, and they can help you out with that. Anyway, want to make sure I point that out. Super, super important. We're now going to take our wax ring and go ahead and install it directly onto the toilet flange. We're also going to take this opportunity to install the toilet bolts into the slots on the flange. Now we're going to get our new toilet bowl, carefully lift it up, set it in position onto the flange, making sure to compress the wax ring, get those bolts through the holes. We don't want to wiggle it back and forth too much. You don't want to damage the wax. Here we go. Now we're going to go ahead and install the remaining portions of the toilet bolts. I love these Sioux Chief Smart Caps. They allow for taller bolts by using a taller bolt cover. As a result, you don't have to trim the bolts, which can be a really big pain down the road as it damages the threads and makes them a lot more challenging to remove. Okay, now we're going to take our included hardware. In this case, it's 2 tank bolts. I've gone ahead and removed the nut and the metal washer from these bolts. All I have right now is the 2 bolts with a black gasket. I'm going to slide these through the inside of the tank where our 2 bolt holes are. And now I'm going to place the tank in position onto the bolt. This particular toilet came with a tank to bowl gasket already in place. You always want to make sure that yours is either in place or that you install it in position. It will come with your toilet though. Now that the tank is in position, we're going to take our remaining metal nut and washers and thread them onto the tank bolts from down below. We're going to go ahead and tighten down both of these tank bolts. We don't want to over tighten them. We definitely don't want the toilet to crack, but you want to go tight enough, alternating one and then the other back and forth until the tank is solid. Now we're going to install our supply line. I'm using a stainless steel braided supply line with metallic nuts on both ends. They're just my favorite supply lines to use. Now we're going to turn on the water supply, allow it to fill up, and test everything for leaks. Now we're going to place the lid onto the tank and install our toilet seat. Okay, we're going to go ahead and caulk the base of the toilet to the floor. I realize this is slightly controversial. Some locations absolutely despise doing this. Others, such as the state of Georgia, where I live, actually require that you seal the bowl to the floor. I like the idea behind it. It's for sanitation purposes and it helps prevent individuals from missing when they aim and getting their liquids underneath the toilet. Some people hate it because they claim that you won't know if there is a leak at the wax ring. To that, I simply suggest leaving the back portion uncaulked. And there we have it. New toilet is installed. Though, I feel like it might be just a little bit small. Maybe I shouldn't be buying toilets off of Wish. Only kidding. I need to replace the toilet in this bathroom, partly because the previous toilet broke. I could have repaired it, but I also wanted to go ahead and downgrade to a smaller product. This is one that's going to be very suitable for my little daughter who will be born in October. Hopefully it'll help her potty train. And it also has a 2-inch flapper, which I wanted so that I can make a video showing you exactly how to replace a 2-inch flapper. That'll be coming soon. If you enjoy these type of videos, please consider doing me a favor and subscribing. More will be coming. As I just mentioned, my daughter is due October, and I'm really making it a goal to hit 1,000 subscribers and achieve channel monetization by that point to kind of help offset some cost. Thanks for watching. You guys have a great day.